Hello and welcome to Learn SystemVue in 5 minutes. This is tutorial 6 and in this tutorial we will talk about how to get started with doing a QPSK modulator design. The picture on this slide shows you what's the typical representation we will have for our QPSK modulator. So let's get started. So in all the previous tutorials, we learned about basics of system view, data flow. We looked at different type of data types, and now we also talked about some sync operations, how to plot graph, etc. Now we will use all that information to build our own QPSK modulator. So let me go ahead and start making a new workspace. So file new. I will not save anything done here. And I will again start from a blank template so that I have a fresh schematic with few options here. Right. For implementing the QPSK modulator system, we can filter out the blocks from here. And you will see how quickly I can filter out and start placing the blocks. For few blocks, I will only use my shortkey like I can show you here. I've placed bits by pressing a shortkey B. Now, from the bits, we can take and put it into mapper. So we can search for mapper. And remember in the earlier tutorial video, we did talk about underscore M. But here we are not dealing with matrix data. So we will just use a normal mapper. Now after mapping, I will have my complex signal. Notice the input is integer and the output side is complex, represented by green. And I could either put a complex filter here, but I would like to convert it to rectangular, so I can type CX2 keyword and it gives me all the components with that name. So I will use this CX2 rectangular, which will basically convert it to my I and Q. And I would like to do root raised cosine filtering here. So I'll just press a keyword F and I can place a filter and I can wire it up here. Now I will make synthesize this filter and copy it here, but later let's proceed to keep other blocks here. So after my I and Q streams are filtered, I just need a modulator which will convert this I and Q data into I plus JQ. So I can filter out a component with a name modulator. And here is our modulator. Notice that for every representation we have underscore M, but we are not using that. So we just use modulator. Now notice the output of modulator is black and I have two outputs. So my real output will be here. That's just a simple quadrature output. And to see the data here, I could go to sinks category. And from sinks category, let me remove this filter name. I could either insert a sync because remember it's a red arrow. So it can accept any form of data, or we can directly use a spectrum analyzer sync. So we have already shown you how to use the red color sync. So I will go ahead and just use the spectrum analyzer and I will just simply wire it up. Now I have the basic infrastructure ready. Only thing I need to do here is now to synthesize my filter. So this filter block, which you can also get from here, if I type filter in the all category, you will see there are tons of filters available. But what I'm using is a generic filter design block. Now this block is a synthesizable filter. We can synthesize all kind of digital filter here for various topologies. So I'm going to use FIR filter, raised cosine, and I want my input sample rate to be 10 megahertz. And then here my symbol rate will be half of that. So it will be 5e6. And the roll off factor I would like to have is 0.35, which is 35% excess bandwidth. And I would set this square root to yes, so that it is a root raised cosine. And when you see the graph plotted as magnitude as the graph shown here, and the data type is envelope, but you could pick any data type you want. And once I click design, it shows me the frequency response of that filter. Now, if I switch on interpolation to have a much better filter characteristics, I can put in my interpolation factor of 8 and design. And that's my filter response. Now with one click, I can also see step response of the filter or impulse response of the filter. And while my filter is synthesized, I can go to coefficients and I can look at different coefficients. So this filter currently is 129 tap filter. And if I want, I can save these coefficient into a text file here. Right now, that's not necessary. Once I click OK, the filter characterization plot automatically goes off. And now I can just simply Control C, Control V to copy paste. And I will use exactly the same filter here. So now my QPSK modulator design is ready. I am ready to simulate it. Let me save this design by name QPSK Modulator. Now you can see the workspace name here. Now how we learned how to set up this data flow simulator. It's the design one. I can name this design as QPSK mod, and I can have the data set here as Q modulator output. And the sample rate I would like to keep, remember 10 megahertz, that's my bit rate, that's the input rate. And number of samples, let's pick 8K FFT points, so 8192. So once we are done, we just run the simulation. There is no error warning, simulation finishes. Now using this data set, I can plot the output of this graph, which is remember S2, and I can rename it as mod output, so that there is no confusion if I decide to build upon this system design further. Now I can right click and run the simulation again to reflect the new sync name. And by right clicking on designs, add a graph, and I can add a spectrum graph of modulated output power. And by clicking OK, we will have our modulated output. Now notice this modulated output is not centered at the right frequency because we haven't assigned any frequency in this modulator. So let's define 70 megahertz as our IF frequency for this modulator. And once we run this analysis again and look at the data graph here, now we can see the QPSK modulator output. In next video, we will learn about how to do vector demodulation of this output and check the modulation quality of our signal. But that's all for this video. Look forward to see you in next video. Thanks for watching.